sometimes if you're just looking at one specific isolated story, you don't get the full story. And not that that's bad, but I think that actually being in a place and surrounded by the people gives me so much hope.
I'd like to know if there was any comic book that got you interested in this whole universe, this fantastic universe, and what was your major influence to start acting?
Right. Well, look, I'm from Kathmandu, so the only comics that I had when I was a kid was like Betty and Veronica, I think is that one. And then I had a couple of films that we would just watch on repeat, which was basically Supergirl and Superman. And my cousins and I would pretend to be Superman and Supergirl and jump off the tables with my other cousins' diapers like tied around our necks, you know, because we used washable diapers anyway. That sounds kind of gross, but they were clean. So yeah, I guess like the Superman and Supergirl were the first comics that like got me excited about this genre and this world. So for me to be on Supergirl was like a dream come true. I mean, not as Supergirl, but as Roulette, which was even better because it was such an exciting character. So that's where that started. And then, you know, coming from a third world country and then, you know, a small town in Australia, I never thought that this could be a job. Like, I mean, where would you even begin in terms of becoming an actor? So it wasn't on my radar until I turned about 18 or 19. You know, after school, I traveled a little bit, you know, saw the world, and I'd always traveled, but when you travel as an adult, or well, a young adult, it's different to when you're really little. And, you know, just seeing the world and everything, I just thought, oh, maybe I'm going to try it, because I wanted to be a painter. But being a painter is I think even harder than being an actor, and it's very solitary. And so I tried acting in a class in Adelaide, and I had this incredible feeling that I just didn't want to do anything else ever again, because I loved watching movies and I loved the whole you know, getting lost in a story. But I was creative and I wanted to do something that was collaborative. And, you know, film and television is a very collaborative experience. You know, everybody has to contribute something, kind of like what you guys have, you know, what you do yourselves. So that's where it started.
Let's talk a bit about Altered Carbon. For me, it's not an easy to digest TV show, let's say. So what made you dive into this project? What got you interested about it?
I think that it's such a imaginative world, this world. And, you know, it's very detailed. Like, you almost have to watch it a few times, because otherwise you'll miss things, you'll get lost. You cannot watch this show while you're doing the laundry or you're eating dinner. You need to watch this show with 100% of your attention, complete focus. And I love watching things like that, you know, like with Westworld. I enjoyed it so much because you start discovering about the dual timeline in the first season, and it blew me away. And then, you know, just there's so many things that you realize afterwards, and then you want to go back, and the characters are so complex. So I like working in something which is very complicated and that needs your 100% engagement. So I think for me, that's art. You know, it's not something you just watch to turn off and just, you know, forget about the day. Like, this is really you have to be an active viewer.
And how is your experience in Portugal so far? Is there any particular thing that you noticed in Portuguese folks or in this amazing land that is like memorable for you?
Oh, I mean, there's so much. Well, everybody's been incredible, and just so warm and lovely. And I know that Brazil is not Portugal, but I had a similar experience in Brazil as well. There's just a warmth and a culture of sort of good food and good wine and community. I love this. Sorry, they're going to get sick of hearing this, but I love the tiles on the outside of the buildings. It's so beautiful. It's so unique. I've never seen this anywhere, and it's just so gorgeous to look at all the different unique, because many of the shapes of the architecture are similar, but then the tiles differentiate the houses, and so it's gorgeous. I'm also really looking forward to this seafood, the wonderful seafood that you're famous for.
Speaking of food, what's your favorite Nepalese food? Do you like any specific any dish?
I guess, oh my gosh, there are so many dishes, and Nepal has incredible food. I guess all the curries. I mean, there's not one specific. I'm just a food person. I love eating food. I may not look like it, but I actually love eating food.
In Agents of Shield, if you could actually be a part of something like that nowadays, what would you do to help? Where would you start and why?
Yeah, right now in Los Angeles, we have a terrible homelessness. And so I've been looking for organizations to get involved in to help the homeless people. I think we have to be kind, and we have to have compassion. There's so many difficult issues in the world right now. I've actually been trying to do some reading on like what's happening in Portugal, because I find it fascinating to learn about different cultures and countries and the different struggles that they're up against, like the population. And I know that, there are parts of Europe that have had a difficult time since 2008, and but what's remarkable is that every little pocket of the world that I have the opportunity to visit has their own unique issue. And from what I've experienced is that the people that I've met have just, even in the face of all this adversity, people are incredible, and they come together, even though it may not appear like that in the media, because I think sometimes if you're just looking at one specific isolated story, you don't get the full story. And not that that's bad, but I think that actually being in a place and surrounded by the people gives me so much hope.
Last question. Is there any spot here at ComicCon that caught your attention the most?
Apparently there are lots of people here and a diverse range of things to see. There's like a gaming area for people who love gaming and for people who love cosplay, little markets where you can buy things, and Q&As happening. So there's so much here, and I'm just really excited to be with you and Salpo.